Everybody, this is me, Spartan, here today, and today's video is going to be a review and some thoughts and some comments on this Hitauing or whatever frequency conversion heater that I got for my 75-gallon tank. It says it's rated for 75 to 135 gallons. I don't know about that 135 gallon bit, but I know for the 75, it keeps it within a degree or right on point with whatever you have it set at. So overall, it's actually, as a heater itself, it's really good, and I've had no problem with it. I used to have a tank in a basement. It kept it warm. I have it now up in a living room. By the way, we did just go through a move, so this is the new basement. I will be putting my 125-gallon fish tank down here once we get some time to move it from the older house. But anyway, that's a whole nother separate story. Back to the heater. I got this one about a year ago, and I have to say that as I said in the beginning, it is a really good heater. I don't really have any complaints about it on its performance. Yeah, it's not the most pretty looking filter. It's like, you can see it here on the box. It's like it's got like a enclosure in it, and like this black enclosure. And it's got a digital LED readout, so you can see what you're set at and what your current temperature is at. So very easy to use, very user-friendly. The suction cups were decent on it, and I've had it for about a year, as I said. The only thing I will put like a little PSA about on this thing is, if you're keeping smaller fish, be wary with this particular filter, because on the casing of it, on the bottom of the casing, there's a about maybe a US dime size hole at the bottom of the casing. And sadly, my half-branded spiny eel somehow managed to get himself up into that dime-sized hole. And then on the sides of the cage, there's horizontal, bigger rectagonal holes. And he squeezed himself up he got up easily into the bottom of it, and then he got panicked and probably tried to get out, and he tried to squeeze himself through the rectagonal, horizontal holes that are on the side. And sadly, he basically eviscerated himself. It was so tight that it popped the back of him, and I had to euthanize him. Thank God I found him before, he was in more pain. But just a PSA, if you keep smaller fish, loaches, any smaller fish that could get into that dime-sized hole in the bottom, I would recommend maybe silicoating that hole, even maybe plugging it, doing something so no fish that are smaller can get inside of the hole. Because that was really sad. I had that spiny eel for maybe 6 months to a year. I grew him out from a little tiny baby, and he was one of my first fish that I got, and it was really sad. I was really, really heartbroken. But that's the name of the game with fish keeping. You're gonna have deaths, regardless if they're your fault or not your fault. In this case, I would chalk this up to just coincidence. It's not like I had bad water or bad maintenance. It was just a coincidence that he got himself up in the bottom of it and then couldn't get out, so he tried the simplest and biggest hole that he could, and that was his demise. So again, I would rate this heater, as a heater in its performance on keeping your fish tank warm and your fish happy, about a 9 or a 10. I really can't say anything bad about the heater itself. The only thing I can say, is that just be wary if you keep smaller fish, or fish that just like to get into things and stuff like that. But if you're keeping an Oscar, you're keeping an arowana, you're keeping something bigger, you don't got to worry, because the slits and the holes on this casing aren't big enough for bigger fish. But for something small or eel-like or loach-like, you might want to keep an eye on them, or plug up these holes. The case does come off. I guess it comes off in parts. So if something does get caught in there, you can get it out. But again, that eel was a prime example of something where it couldn't. So again, just be wary. I would say if you are looking for a heater for a bigger tank or even a smaller tank, this is definitely a good price option, good heater, and I really can't complain otherwise with it. So with that being said, guys, if you found this content useful, if you liked this video, please leave a like, please leave a comment for engagement, for help. It encourages me to keep going. It encourages me to keep making these videos. And again, too, I just enjoy sharing my fish with you. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you later. I decided to, after the video ended, to add in some footage and get some pictures of the heater for you guys. So here's the heater. As I said, it's not the most pretty heater, but for its performance and what it does, it's amazing. And you could totally hide this within your aquascape. Now, from this, so I'm gonna go to this angle, and I'm gonna zoom in here. You can see it barely, but there is the small dime-sized hole in question right there in the center of the screen. And so, if you have smaller fish, just be wary. You might want to plug that up because they could get trapped inside that heater, just like the eel did. So again, this is the tank, and then we'll go under, and I'll show you the little readout dial or LED panel. As I said, it keeps it at the current, and it shows you the current and all that, and it shows you if it's good and all that, and it's a pretty good heater. As I said, I just wanted to include some footage and show you guys the heater itself.